Hey y'all, hey, good day. I hope everybody's doing good when they watch this video. And if you're not, that's okay. You probably should watch this video. Listen, don't mind the bags, y'all. I've been crying all morning. But thankfully, okay, gratefully. So it's Ash Wednesday. If you don't celebrate Lent, that's okay. I really don't celebrate Lent either, but I am going to, it has something to do with this story. Anyways, I'm at my cousin's house. She celebrates Lent regardless, right? I'm there. So I told her, I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to do the first 5 days and fast with you. Um, I grew up Catholic, by the way. This is not a story about church or religion, but I feel like I have to mention that as well. So I said, hey, cousin, you know what? I am going to celebrate, not celebrate, but I'm going to fast from Wednesday to Sunday, just so we can come together as a family. They say when you two or more to come together in my name, it shall be done. So I figured I would like to do that. So when I woke up this morning and I'm like, okay, it's Wednesday, this is day one, what are you giving up? Which I already knew what I was giving up for the next 5 days as I fast. Not a problem. Let's go ahead and roll with that, right? And I just felt my inner being, my higher self, which is just your voice when you're quiet. It was like, why are you fasting? I was like, oh, I want to support my cousin. Also for me, to just be closer to myself, have more clarity, my intuition. It's already on fire in the best way, so I just want to be closer to God, things of that nature, right? And it was like, I just started thinking about my family and things that I wanted me and my cousin to pray for specifically, since we're praying for something together. I was like, I really want to just pray for our family, our lineage, just things that, in the lineage that we are going through, just in our family as a whole, that we might be struggling with as an entire family. I'm not just talking about mother, father, but I'm talking about cousins, close friends, our coworkers, people that are surrounded with us in our lives, in our current lives right now. So I just felt my inner being say, look up what Lynn is. And I'm like, I know what Lynn is. I grew up Catholic. You know what I'm saying? I grew up Catholic, but as an adult, I became a non denominational Christian. But honestly, since 2018, I don't claim nothing. I just claim to be myself. I just claim to love God. And for me, that's worked. It has lifted me up. It has inspired me. It has encouraged me. It has built me up to where I'm at right now in my life. So, no judgment for anybody else. Whatever religion you have, baby, I love it. As long as you have there is a higher purpose than you, I'm down with it, right? So anyway, I'm praying, and I'm just thinking about my family. And of course, I start to think about my brother who passed away in October of 2024. That was just a few months ago. And he is what my family would consider atheist because he did not believe in God. Now, he never really used that word. He never preached, oh, I don't believe in God. But, when my mom would say something like, I'm going to pray for your other family members, say that, he'd be like, I don't believe in God. And I realized maybe he, even if he didn't, he has so much love. People loved him. He loved people. Now, was he an a-hole? He was, right? But I feel like it was just because he was bitter about his own life. Like, just thinking about my brother's life from being young to the day he died, he just had a lot of trauma issues, whatever, right? But this man never smoked, never drank, never did no drugs. He is vegan, by the way, was vegan, excuse me. He grew his own vegetables and fruits. I mean, this man was a man of the land. And I'm telling you now, if you knew my brother, you would have loved him. People loved him. People were attracted to him, male, female, not in a sexual way per se. I'm just saying people really loved to be around my brother. And so, because he didn't believe in God, I just let him roll with that. I still loved him. He still was kind. He still was wonderful. If he can give you something, he would, right? But he was definitely an a-hole at the end of the day. And then I start to think about my nephew who committed suicide at the end of January of 2025. It's hard to say. I found out the day I was leaving for Costa Rica. So that's why my trip there was hard. Just it was just too fresh. It still is fresh. Anyways, I thought about them too, and my dad, and he's passed away too. So I just said a prayer, and I was like, God, I'm celebrating Lent once again. not celebrating, excuse me, I'm fasting for the first 5 days of Lent with my cousin just so we can pray together for our family once again. So, like I said, my inner being was like, you should look up what Lent is. And I'm like, I already know what that is. I was like, you know what? Let me go to the school of TikTok. Instead of going to Google, I was like, I'm going to TikTok. As soon as I opened TikTok, the very first video, before I can even search, right, because there's a video that always pops up, the very first video that comes on is a video in the scene of the Five Heartbeats, where the Townsend's character is in church and they sing "I Feel Like Going On." Well, by the way, my brother is in that scene, the one who quote unquote is an atheist. He's in that scene in the church. He don't have no speaking role. He just one of the people in the church, right? Have on a blue suit, long hair, perm with curls, whatever. You know, it was back then. That was a style. Baby, when I say I wanted to holler and scream, if my cousin was not asleep, I would have started hooting and hollering because I was like, what the? I was like, I had to hurry and get off TikTok. And I closed my eyes and I was hyperventilating, y'all. I really was. I was hyperventilating and it was like, no, you need to go back to that video. So I was just overwhelmed. So I went back to the video. I'm crying my eyes out. I see my brother in the scene, right? It's like I said, it's just he don't have no speaking role. He just in the church. But I see that blue suit and I just break down and I say, God, I don't care what nobody say in my family or period. Even if you ain't in my family, I don't care what nobody say. I know my brother's in heaven. I know he is because he was a good person. It didn't, to me, your belief is your belief. And I feel like it ain't that he didn't believe in God. He just was bitter and angry, but whatever, right? And we don't know. He passed away in his sleep. So we don't know what the man was dreaming and thinking about. So I just feel like it ain't for me or anybody else to judge where he was at in his life. You know, I just felt like, and I was just like, when that scene and I watched and I heard that song, I cried in that pillow for probably like 30 minutes. When I say my eyes is puffy, I mean, it's red. I mean, that this is where all this is. I'm like, what? And I seen that, and then I thought about my nephew, which a lot of the family like, oh, he's not with God because he committed suicide. Once again, I have not yet seen a scripture. I'm not going listen. I don't want to argue with nobody in the comments. I don't want to argue with nobody in real life about suicide and where people go. All I know is what I believe and what I think. My nephew's in heaven too. I don't care what nobody say. And when I seen that video, I knew for sure they was with God or with the higher beings or whatever. I just knew, quote unquote, they ain't suffering anymore. I knew that they are happy now. That's what I do believe. So wherever that is, if it ain't in heaven, it's wherever the people are who is happy when they pass away. Okay, we just leave it there. And I was like, you know what? And then I started to, now that I'm not crying anymore, and now that I'm just like here, I was like, I'm just gonna continue to be me. I just don't want to be nobody else. I don't want to justify myself because I don't have to. These last 7 months since I left my hometown of 25 years, I literally left because I just needed to know who I was. I needed to find out who I was, and I'm still figuring it out. I'm still on the journey of that. But what I do know is that I'm enough, that I am loved, that I am blessed. And is everything perfect? Yet it's not. But I'll tell you something, everything is wonderful. Everything is great. Everything is unfolding exactly how it should be. I promise that. And it's so crazy because when I was leaving, I really was going to come to Dallas first. I was like, I'm coming to Dallas. I had made my decision. I was like, I'm coming to Dallas, blah, blah, blah. And at the last minute, I think like a week before I was supposed to leave, I was like, you know what? When I ended up, like I said, I ended up in Arizona because I thought I was going to take a whole bus ride from Vegas to New York just to kill time. And then I was like, okay, and then I'll end up in Texas and like Dallas. But it didn't work that way, baby. Once I got to Arizona, my feet was swollen. I looked at the plane and I was like, I was like, well, I guess Houston it is. And I'm so glad I went to Houston first and not Dallas. I feel like if I would have came to Dallas first, what I'm going through and what I'm doing, none of this would have happened. God always knows because he let me sit my whole little tail down for 6 months in Houston. And when I say sitting down, I'm talking about sitting down figuring out who I was and letting go and releasing. That's what I did for 6 months in Houston. I didn't really go out too much because that wasn't where I was at. I was just really releasing my thoughts, releasing how I thought I should be, releasing how I wanted to be, just releasing and really opening my heart so I can hear, opening my heart so I can listen, really opening my heart so I can actually feel, like really feel. It has been a long time since I have felt anything. I really realize now that I am here in Dallas for the last 2 weeks. Whew, let me take a breath. I have felt so much. I have been on autopilot probably for the last, I don't even know, 10. I don't know how long, child. I can't even count that high. But I realized I have been on autopilot. Wonderful things have happened to me. Of course they have. My life hasn't been that horrible, but I do realize my mind, I haven't used my mind. I was telling my cousin last night, I said, girl, I forgot I was smart. I have not had to use my brain for like at least 8 years, at least. I literally been just living off of my personality because I have a very high strung personality. I have literally been living off my personality for so long. Even while I'm here looking for a job now, it's like, okay, let me start looking for a job. I looked at that resume, and even though everything on that resume is true, I worked at this place, this place, this place, I have this degree, I have this certification, all that is true, but I'm like, none of that is me. I was like, none of that is me. I don't even know like what this resume is. Like, what is a resume for? I don't even get it. I am literally looking for these jobs and I'm trying to, of course, get out of the, no, I'm not trying to get out the food and beverage. Let me not say it like that, but I'm looking for alternatives too, because I know I've worked in the office many, many years prior to working in food and beverage. But I was telling her, I was like, you know what? Somebody in an office will look at this and think I'm not qualified. And I was like, little do they know, they will be blessed to have me. Any place I work is going to be blessed to have me. And that's on period. I am just a joy to be at any company, at any job, at any place. And I'm remembering that as I'm looking for these jobs. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? If you don't hire me, it's okay. It's your loss. And that's on period. It's gonna be their loss. And I know that for sure. So that's how I'm looking. I'm like, this resume don't define me. I am going to this. I said next week, I am going to start walking into places and asking where I'm going to look for places that I want to work. And I'm just going to walk in and be like, are y'all hiring? Because look at me, baby. Let me talk to y'all. Sit down. Because when you hear what I have to say, you can be like, okay, let me find out. And that's just where I'm at. I'm at a place of peace. I'm at a place of knowing my worth and my worthiness. And I will keep going. I am going to keep going. This journey is so crazy to me. Even me making this type of I, I just feel like, Lord, you sure? You not be walking like, God, you sure me? Because he be telling me like, girl, you are going to reach a lot of people. I'm like, sir, first of all, I like to cuss. Not like a sailor, but like a lady. Sir, I like to act a dang fool, sir. You know that. I like to do a little turn up every now and then, sir. Okay? In the best of ways, of course. But I'm like, who, what? Not me, Lord. Maybe you need to pick somebody else. He's like, and all these reasons you're saying you shouldn't is the reason why you will. Not that you should, but you will. I'm like, whew, it's overwhelming to think about at times. But he's like, this is all the things that you think why you should not is why you should. And I'm speaking to myself. Even as I make this video, I'm really speaking to myself, but I feel like somebody else is going to hear this and maybe it can resonate or maybe it's for you as well. I listen, I don't know because I'm just talking about me. Because I know the other day I was like, dang God, I was like, have you seen my bank account? Have you seen all the things I've done? Have you seen where I'm at right now in my life? Like, I mean, I don't own anything of my own right now. I'm not even the cup I'm drinking my coffee off of. Matter of fact, let me get a sip. I'm so sorry, y'all. Excuse me. It's so good. This is so good. Okay. But he was like, all those reasons is why you're going to be so good at it. You love people. I do. I love God. I do. I love to talk a lot of mess. I do. I have plenty interest. I have plenty good thoughts. I have plenty things to say. And I guess that's why I'm deciding to even make this channel. Like I was like, Brenda, just talk. It don't matter if it don't make sense. Okay? It don't even matter. I realize that in 2 years, when I am somewhere else in my life and I look at these videos, look at this video in particular, I'm going to be cracking up. I'm going to be dying laughing. Like, you know what? Look where you were and look where you are now. Because you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. Even these jobs I'm looking at, I'm like, those are not going to be my forever jobs. I mean, maybe it will, but I highly doubt it because I am destined. When I say destined, I am destined for more. I just am. It's just what it is. I claim it over my life. I feel it in my entire body. So it doesn't matter if I go work at a restaurant, if I go work at this office or that office. All that is doing is just opening doors. It really is. So do I think I'm worth more than $15, $16 an hour? Of course I am. When I was at Grand Lux a few months ago working for that $14 an hour, I almost crumbled. Because I ain't worked for $14 an hour probably since in my 20s. I'm about to be 50 in a couple months, by the way. That crumbled me and that also humbled me. And let me tell you, I went to that job every day with my head held high, clean, smelling good, and working super hard. Okay? When I say working hard, I was working hard. But I wasn't just working for the company, I was working for me. I was working for me, for something higher. That's what I was working for. And I'm like, you know what, amen, God. You know what? Sometimes you got to humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and He will lift you up. Okay, I can't sing. Let me stop. But I'm just saying. And so that's where I'm at right now, too, as I decided I'm going to stay in Dallas. I love this town, baby. When that damn alarm bell went off 2 days ago, and whoever lives in Dallas know what I'm talking about because the bell went off because it was 110 miles wind and the brick house I'm staying at was shaking like it was an earthquake. I said, child, I fell in love right then and there. That's one of my toxic traits, I guess. Because I fell in love with Dallas right then. I knew that this was my town. I said, I'm moving here. Let me go ahead and start looking for a job. And by the way, I already did get hired at a place, American. I got hired at American Cruise Line. I was like, hey, it fits some of my boxes. I want to travel. I want to meet people. I want to have fun. But that doesn't even start till mid-April, till mid to the end of April for training. But in the meantime, baby, I'm gonna just see what else is going on here in Dallas. Maybe I'll find a cool job that's actually here in town that I fall in love with. Then I'll say American Cruise Line, thank you for the opportunity, but I'm gonna skip this time, or maybe I'll jump on the cruise line. Listen, I don't know. Listen, I'm just following my instincts right now. I am following my heart right now, and I'm just making moves. I realize because I'll be going through depression, I'll be having this high anxiety that please excuse me, Lord, that I'll be going through these emotional things that it just sometimes makes me feel like I can't dig myself out. But what I was saying to myself, Brenda, if you got to dig yourself out one piece of sand at a time, okay, and if you who's listening, you feeling some kind of way, and you feel like you can't do it, as nothing is going right for you, believe me, anything can change. Because I've been through the homelessness, I've been through the bad relationships, I've been through the bad mothering, through the jobs, through the this, through the who, what, where, I have. Baby, I've been through it all, okay? And if you think no one can relate to you, I promise you they can. Someone can. You are not alone. You are not the only one going through something. But if you feel stuck, if you feel like you can't, just, I'm telling you, one breath at a time, one moment at a time. Don't even have to be one day, one moment at a time. Dig yourself out. Like I said, if it's one piece of sand, because if you just dig yourself out one piece of sand, if it has to be that small, then do it. Then do it. Because eventually when you look to your right and to your left, you'll see that sand, that little grain of sand that you were digging out yourself out of, it'll become a pile and you can now stand up and lift yourself up. Because it is time. It is time to do it. It is time to reclaim who you are. And if you don't know who you are, it's okay. I didn't know who I was either, child. I'm still learning. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm still learning who I am. I really am. But this has been such a beautiful unfolding for me because I have decided that I want to know, that I want to grow. My mindset is growing, is becoming, and it is being, and I like me now. There was for a long time I didn't like myself. I was just living, going through the motions. And me not liking myself, it was just showing itself in so many different ways in my life. It really was. But in this season of me, I'd be like, go girl, you are so smart. I forgot. Or, I was like, damn girl, you are smart. You are beautiful just the way you are, okay? You are great. You are awesome. And anybody who comes in my path, look at my face. Let me get a little closer, okay? Anybody who comes in my path and have a conversation with me, but listen, you're going to leave better than you was. I promise you. It just where it is right now. It's just how it is. I'm telling you, people I meet, we have a conversation, we have left each other better. Because everyone I meet is me at some point, I realize. I am connected to everybody I meet. Everybody I meet. And so are you. Just start watching that. Listen, for anybody who has a job now, whether you work from home or you work, at a place, and let's start there. I'm telling you now, start to look at your coworkers, the ones you have conversations with. It's you. You're having a conversation with yourself in just different phases of your life and stages of your life. Even the coworkers you may not quote unquote like or they don't like you, you're them too. If you don't believe me, just start hearing what they're saying. And I guarantee you can resonate with something they're saying and that you've been through it. I promise you. That's why you probably don't like them in the first place, or they don't like you because they see themselves. Just looking in the mirror, you can't stand it. Sometimes people can't stand looking at their own selves. I'm telling you now, just do it for 2 days. That worked. Start there. Because then after that, you'll start to see wherever you go, the grocery store, the mall, at your friend's house, whoever, whatever, whatever. You'll start to see that everyone you meet is you at some stage in your life. Even if it's the higher version of you where you want to be. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, they have this, they have that. Oh, I like that. Yeah, because that's you. That's where you're headed. When you see somebody getting on your nerves, that's you. You was getting on somebody's nerves too before. Okay? Yeah, it's you. Everybody is you. Everybody is me. And I just cracked up. I be like, ooh, that's why I have so much grace right now for people, for things, for places. I have so much kindness and so much joy. I go into things with an open mind and an open heart. There is no judgment anymore. Wherever you are in life, I don't say, oh, because you're this religion or you're this race or you're this who, where, why, how, or you live here. Mm-mm. Nah. Yesterday, as I was doing my walk, right? God said, I want you to walk 5 more minutes. And I was just like, damn, I already walked for like over 45 minutes, Lord. I mean, I got to walk back to where I'm going, where I need back home, right? He's like, just walk 5 more minutes. Let me be obedient because I'm learning to be obedient, y'all. My child, that's a whole nother probably video I need to make. But anyways, I walked 5 more minutes. So I ended up at like this corner. But girl, I just realized I can't see that good sometimes. When I get nervous and my anxiety kick in, my vision immediately gets blurry. That's immediately it starts to get blurry. So I knew my anxiety was kicking in because now I can't see. So I'm like, damn, what does he want me to see? And so because I don't want people to be thinking, once again, this is my insecurity I'm working with. I don't, and mind you, ain't nobody in the street, right? This is where I'm walking, where I'm at now, ain't too many people walking. It's not a walking town unless people are exercising or, maybe walking their dog or with their kids or, or babies in a stroller or something like that. Anyways, I get to this corner and I'm like, okay, I can't go nowhere else. I'm about to hit the highway kind of thing. So I look and it says the word mansions. I'm like, mansions? So I look up at these houses. I thought it was a whole bunch of houses. One house is like 3 houses, size of 3 houses. So it says, if anybody knows Dallas, it's mansions at Timberland, y'all. So I start to look. I said, what the snapples? I said, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I seen a mansion on TV, but I ain't never, I can't even really say I've been in one. I ain't gonna even lie to you. And I looked at the houses and so I started to look to the left. I said, child, I thought these was all separate houses. One house was the size of like 3 huge houses, by the way, not 3 small houses, 3 houses that's at least 2,400 square feet. So these houses had to be over 10,000 square feet, at least one. And I looked and I said, mother snappers, how beautiful. Is this where I'm at, God? I said, is this the neighborhood I'm in? And not that I want to mention y'all. I mean, if I get one, cool, but I'm not praying for that, by the way. But it was just it was just beautiful to see. It was amazing to see where I'm at. And I just started to enjoy the view. Even where I'm sitting at right now, like I'm in a lake, maybe the ducks is out, the frogs is frogging, okay, the snails is snailing, and I am just so grateful for where I'm at. I'm grateful that I get to sit on this beautiful bench, talk to myself, talk to y'all, talk to you, and I'm like, life is just unfolding in the best way. I'm gonna go ahead and head back to the house, get dressed for the day. Like I said, I found a couple places I want to work, and I'm just gonna go walk on in and be like, "Y'all hiring? I mean, what's going on up in here? What's cracking? Okay, because I'm here. Okay, you're one of your best employees is here. So let's see. But today, just like I said, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, sometimes one moment at a time. Because me, right now, in this unfolding, in this part of my journey, I'm just going to keep smiling, keep thinking, keep enjoying, keep opening my heart, and just working on my mindset because this identity shifting is real. I'm looking forward to seeing myself in 6 months. Whenever 6 months is, let me see, we're in March, April, May, June, July, August, September. September, I look forward to seeing you. September 2025, I look forward to seeing you in this unfolding because baby, I came up with my 6 month plan already. And I'm just like, Lord, let's go. This is it. Baby, I'm ready. I'm ready. You get ready too.